to Biolabs b.empowered podcast series. We're coming to you live from Bio 2026. Thank you for joining us. We are here in San Diego with a couple of my favorite people. Welcome,
Thank
Hayashi-san
you.
and Koyanagi-san from
Thank you.
direct from Tokyo and from Japan. I'm really excited to have you here. Thanks for making the time.
Thank you for having
Great,
us.
terrific. So rather than me introducing you, please introduce yourself.
Okay, so let me start. Hi, my name is Ikuo Hayashi from LinkJ and also Mitsui Fudosan, and I'm the president and CEO of LinkJ, and I've been, working with Biolabs for past maybe 3 years.
Oh gosh,
Yeah,
4 or 5.
4 or 5 years, and then I'm doing the international alliances and also the fostering innovation ecosystem in Japan. So I'm really excited to be here today. Thanks so much.
Welcome.
Hi, nice to meet you, everybody. I'm Koyanagi from Biolabs Japan, and also I'm representing a part of the Kyoto University collaboration. I'm a scientist by training, but I'm fascinated with biotech business, so I'm keen to develop the ecosystem in Tokyo and also Kyoto and other places in Japan. Nice to meet you.
Great. Welcome to both of you. So we'll jump right in with you, Hayashi-san. As you know, Biolabs has partnered with Mitsui Fudosan and LinkJ for our site in Shinkiba. Really excited to be launching and opening in July. Really exciting moment for both of us. Can you tell me about what was the vision and the reasoning behind Mitsui wanting to partner with Biolabs and open in Tokyo?
Tokyo. Yeah, thank you so much for the question. So, just to share a little background about Mitsui and the LinkJ and what we're doing is that so Mitsui Fudosan is a leading real estate developer, and we have the life science division. Which is kind of like Alexandria in the U.S. So providing the properties for life science startups or life science companies. So office space or laboratory space even, and we have over 10 facilities, laboratory facilities in Tokyo and as well as in Osaka.
Well,
And so that's the real estate part. And the LinkJ, on the other hand, as a community organization, we are connecting people in the field of life science. So including pharmaceutical companies, startups, VCs, and academic institutes, and we provide the kind of platform where everyone can get together and connect with each other to co-create innovations. So that's background. So the why we wanted to have biolabs in Tokyo is that biolabs, as they have the international connection, and which is a really important piece for our community, through which we can connect companies, especially startup companies, to with the global market. So that's kind of the uh, having that factor is really important for our community. So because the in the life science industry, it's a kind of a default to think about global markets. So we really happy to have a biolabs in Tokyo, which directly connecting with the global market.
yeah.
So.
Thanks for your answer. And I think Biolabs feels the same way, and not just for the Tokyo US connections, but throughout the global network. So look forward to lots more interaction with LinkJ and that. Tomo, you've of course been part of our lunch there in Tokyo. Can you tell people a little bit more about the facility and sort of what kinds of companies we expect to have there?
Okay, so first of all, we already have a lot of incubation facility, people say, in local in Japan, but the big difference is that we have first in class, all equipped, and the premier suite. So the problem for startup companies so far was that they were willing to stay inside of the university because they cannot do the experiments or have to buy a lot of expensive facilities. But instead of that, we are providing the full service for them, and they can start the business or research at the first day of the signing on the agreement. Then we can provide those kind of service, full spec service for the startup companies. We can afford more, almost like 70 scientists, and probably we can afford like more than 50 companies locally, and which is equivalent to other biolab sites. And for the successful creating ecosystem, I think the Biolabs Tokyo will be a big part of the community. And thankfully, Mitsui Fudosan's support, we all will support all other tenants inside of the Link Lab facilities. We will collaborate with them. So that's the big advantage.
Great, fantastic. Thanks for that answer. So Hayashi-san, you've been embedded in the life science and startup culture in Tokyo and in Japan broadly for a long time. Can you tell me how you feel the culture is today, and then trends that you've seen change over time? Maybe give us a little glimpse into the future.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the question. So, first of all, the biotech ecosystem in Japan is changing. It's happening now, and partially because of the policy of the Japanese government. So the Japanese government is keen to support, the life science startup companies as a source of or origin of the innovations, and not only the central government but also the local government like Tokyo metropolitan government is also keen to do the similar thing. So that's a the changing we been witnessing, the recent maybe 2 or 3 years, and then as part of that, we are LinkJ together with Biolabs and the Mitsui Fudosan is doing this initiative called Link by Tokyo with support from the Tokyo government. So. Yeah, the important fact about the observation about Japan's biotech ecosystem is that even though the government support is there, but we are still feeling a gap between the academic research and in how to translate it into the tangible business or tangible startup. So that's the gap we are trying to fill by having biolabs and the other the supporters in our ecosystem. Yeah.
Thank you for that answer, and that's a great segue into my next question for Koyanagi-san. Um, lo- we are currently launching an initiative called Biolabs Academy.
Yes.
So maybe you could tell folks a little bit more about that and sort of filling that gap.
Yeah, actually, the piggyback the comments from the Hayashi-san, we have very huge gap between research and development in Japan. Most scientists has some sense of business, but still not well trained yet. That's why we still have very limited number of the startup company. We're supposed to host them into the Biolabs Tokyo, but still we have to approach them closely through the education of the biotech business. So Biolabs Academy, we are developing the acceleration program under the support by the MHW or other governmental agencies to provide what's the translation research is, how we can translate their science into the real business, together with providing some network with the global pharmaceutical companies and also entrepreneurs around the biotech business. So through those activities, we will expand our activity not only in Japan, of course, other parts of Japan, and connect with other places in Biolabs network.
Great. Thanks so much for that answer. So, Hayashi-san, as you know, Japan and the U.S. have very different ecosystems, and it comes along with that very different regulatory pathways. Can you talk for a minute about the pathway for a Japanese company to launch and then move to the U.S.? Can you talk a little bit about the challenges that they may have in that environment?
Yeah, thank you for the question. And we've been talking about that topic a lot. How Japanese startup company to get into the U.S. markets and how to adjust themselves to the environment. And so the short answer is they need to know they need to have a connection locally because no matter how innovative your technology or science is, you need to somebody in the local ecosystem to support that and that development activity. So the connection is a key to success. It can be a the investors, can be a business partners, it can be a development partners. Anyway, how they need the local connection. In that sense, the Biolabs network is really handy for our startup company because you have U.S. Facilities as well as European facilities. So and that Biolabs has a connection with experts in this the field and in the life science. So yeah, so in that sense, they having biolabs facility in Tokyo is really important for the Japanese startups to be to first to have a sense to get into the market and to learn about how the market works in each ecosystem.
Yeah, fantastic. And Koyanagi-san, do you see that as part of the Biolabs Academy sort of scope that you're thinking about also?
Yeah, of course, the connection with the global network, especially, of course, the Boston community is one of the biggest one. But not only that, we are expanding other places. Of course, San Diego Bay here, and San Francisco Bay Area, and Toronto and Europe, and other part of Asia in the future. So we will connect all of these, and then to work together with all other people, Japanese startup and entrepreneurs have the good enough knowledge to get into the global market. That's why we will educate like regulatory science compliant for the FDA or the global business-based discussions. We will educate all of them.
Great. We'll stay on you for the moment. And just the last question. As you know, the series this year is called Driven by Purpose. And so, from your perspective, what does that mean for Biolabs Tokyo?
Okay, first of all, regarding the Japanese market, we are facing the issues about the drug lag and drug loss. Somehow, most US-based startup company skipping the Japanese market. So, kind of reviving Japanese market, we want to facilitate the research and development activity from Japan. So that's the major purpose as a site, Tokyo site. And other part is we have the big advantage in Japanese basic science, but still we don't have the good solution to deliver those kind of technology to the all patients in the world. So to meet the all purpose in the other side of the biolabs, we want to take advantage of the creating network together and develop the business together.
Great. And same question to you.
So I think that the bigger purpose for LinkJ is well, for probably all of us working in this field, is to helping patients, right, who are suffering from any disease or
Terrible,
disorders,
yeah.
right. So that's a bigger purpose. And then so having said that, we are not doing in collaboration just for the sake of collaboration, right. It's that we need to deliver something that could help the patients in the world. So that's why we need a more collaboration to create innovations that help patients in the future. So yeah, that's the purpose. And so to do that, we need to connect with people or talents around the world and having finding the best solution out there. So that's our purpose, and we are really looking forward to seeing more and more innovations out of the Tokyo, out of the our site, out of the Biolab sites. So that's our our vision.
We are too, and we're very excited. And on that same note, we also want to encourage everyone to go to the website and take a look. We do have a Biolabs Golden Ticket, which is the grant of a free bench for a year. So please go there and do that. And my thanks to you both very, very much
so
for your
much.
time today, and have a great conference.